Full screen.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Lee Godbold with Junk Removal Authority, and we've got an extremely exciting announcement to make. This week we announced that JUNKCON was tickets were going on sale, and we've had great sales so far this week. Early bird special is still running until we get to a limited number of tickets. We only have a few remaining. What we're very excited about is we are bringing on speakers this year, and we're bringing on vendors and exhibitors this year that we did not have when we did the test run of JUNKCON last year. And starting off, we've got a really, really big name in the junk removal industry that is going to be speaking at JUNKCON. He's built one of the largest privately owned or unaffiliated with a franchise junk removal companies in the country. It's over 20 trucks. He was a full-time firefighter, and it is Bennett Grove out of Indiana. Bennett, welcome to the JRA YouTube channel. Excited to have you at JUNKCON coming up here in October. I'd love for you to just kind of do an introduction of yourself. Tell us all about you and your business.
Hey man, thanks for having me. Thanks for the introduction. Really excited about speaking at JUNKCON. It's my experience goes back to when I started the business in 2011. I was a full-time firefighter, and I did that for 10 years. So I ran the business as a side hustle, getting started, like a lot of firefighters do. And over the 10-year period, I started out working on my days off shift, and slowly started to build the company. And to where in 2020, I ended up retiring from the fire department to go full time, because during those 10 years, we built the side hustle up into a 7-figure business. And once you build it into a side hustle to a 7-figure business, it starts to become a business that needs your attention, your full time and attention. And so, but what was allowed for me to really get to that point was investing in systems and processes early. Being a full time firefighter, I really had to make sure the business could run while I was on shift. And the only way for me to have done that was to invest in systems and processes early on. And those systems and processes were filled with mistakes, mind you, but that's part of the journey. But once we really got those dialed in, the business started to really grow. And so I got the junk removal business over that 7-figure mark. And so it really transitioned from a side hustle to a true business, where I had full-time people that were counting on the business to take care of them and theirs, and that's when I went full-time. And so I retired in 2020. And that's kind of where we're at today. So the last 2 years we've been jamming and growing. And like you said, we're over the 20 truck mark today. We got 5 locations in Indiana.
Very neat. And do you want to continue expanding geographically? Do you have ambitions to do that, or you just want to build up the locations that you currently have?
Yeah, in 2016, I ended up buying my partners out. I originally started the business with partners in the business. And we just, different seasons of life, forks in the road, came to a point where I ended up buying them out. And so I'm the sole owner of it today. But I remember in that year, I kind of set that big, that BHAG, that big, hairy, audacious goal of I wanted to be able to service the whole state of Indiana, and have an 8-figure business by the end of 2026. And so that's where we're at. We still have 4 locations to open up in Indiana that I have on my target. So we're still going to continue to expand here in the state. And then, beyond 2026, who knows, it's time to set the next new big goal.
Very good. So you would say, in terms of if junk removal business owners are interested in expanding geographically, that you've got some tips and tricks you might be able to cover when you're talking at JUNKCON. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think one of my goals at JUNKCON is to make sure I have the attendees walk away with like some key deliverables. And those deliverables from me is I don't want it to just be a speech about fluff. There's definitely some things we're going to talk about. It's going to be exciting and motivational, but I want them to walk away with minimum viable systems and 4 of like the key departments. So I want them to walk away with the minimum viable system in financials and operations and admin or administration, and then marketing and sales. So I'm really going to be unpacking what I consider to be those minimum viable systems in those 4 categories. So every attendee walks away with something that's going to help level up their business to where they too can continue to replace themselves and eventually build the business to a size where they can, be able to take time off without sweating it, put money back into the business, things like that.
Very good. And I know you have a GM now that's running your location, which is the reason you're able to do this interview from Key West, Florida, which is one of my favorite places on earth. So I'm very, very
Yeah.
jealous right now. How long have you had a general manager in your business? Did you do it from the start, or is that something you developed later on?
Yeah, I'm in Key West right now, celebrating my 10-year anniversary with my wife, and it's also our 10-year anniversary for the business. But I'm able to do that again. Back to the beginning, where I'm talking about systems and processes. That's what we're talking about. It's not just a buzzword. It's really putting in, like, a step-by-step guide of how the business will run on a day-to-day basis. But then you need key people to manage those systems and processes. So, I didn't always have a GM from day one. We kind of continued to build positions and rank structure as we grew.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had, operations managers. We have customer service managers. So like today, what's unique about, you mentioned me being gone and the business still running, right? So we got 12 trucks on the road today. But not only am I gone out of the business today, but my general manager is there at the shop today running the show. But our customer service manager is getting married, young man getting
Mm-hmm.
married, and
Yep.
so he's gone today for his bachelor party. My operations manager of our biggest operation in Indianapolis is in the wedding, so he's gone today. And
Mm-hmm.
our regional manager, who manages multiple satellite locations, he's also gone today. And the show is going to continue to go on. The systems are still going to run. The business is
Mm-hmm.
still going to produce and deliver customer service, to our paying customers. So, I think that that's something that's, you tie it back to, what do your people have in front of them to run the business when you're not there? And that's where systems and processes come in.
It's amazing the redundancy you've built into your company to be able to do that. And I will validate everything Bennett has said, because it seems like every time I've talked with him or gotten up with him, he's at Disney in Orlando, or he's at Key West, or he's going off somewhere. So, he's got a growing business, a business that he wants to take to over 8 figures by the end of 2026. Yet he's still able to find time for his family. I guess you and your wife are celebrating your 10-year anniversary as well down there in Key West, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you got to have your whys. I have what I call a bucket of whys. Why do you wake up every day and keep doing this job? Because it's tough. Building a home services business is tough. There's always going to be challenges. There's never going to come a day where there's not problems. There's always going to be a new problem to solve, because as you grow your business, there's just new problems to solve.
Yep.
But you got to have a bucket of whys to, why are you going to get up and keep doing it? For me, my family is first and foremost. It's actually one of our core values at Fire Dogs is family first, and so being able to build a business, but not just be chained to it, so that I can take time off and be a good father, try and be a good husband, but also more importantly to our people in the company, try to be a good leader. And I think by demonstrating to them that I want to be able to take time away when needed, I want them to be able to take time away from the job
Right.
too. I want them
Mhm.
to live that life of family first as well. So, you got to also shape your whys and how you're going to incorporate those into your company.
And that's an amazing balancing act. And the fact I don't know if you ever fully figure that out, because it seems like I think over time you eventually do. But if you're like me, when you were trying to figure that part out, oftentimes you would swing too far in either direction. You'd get too far into your business, or you get too far on the other side, and you're sitting there. You've got to find this middle of the road, and that's very difficult. So if you have some tips and tricks to share with people on how you're able to do that, that would be also something that would be great to kind of take from JUNKCON.
Yeah, 100%. Happy to talk about that at JUNKCON. And, with the Fireprenuers podcast, we also talk about that. We've had you on as a guest, as an interview. I try
Yep.
to just throw out little tips to continue to help people level up in this industry. I'll tell you what, junk removal as a category, it's a super exciting category to be a part of. It's still continuing to blossom. I know Brian Scudamore really pioneered this industry for a lot of us, but the
Mhm.
category is so vast now. We can do so much with it that it's just a really exciting industry to be a part of. And so I'm happy to do anything I can to help level it up, and bring some value to JunkCon.
That's awesome, man. All right. Well, if junk removal or JunkCon attendees can't get enough of Bennett, they can't wait all the way until October, how might they be able to find you? You mentioned the Firepreneurs podcast. Is that something they can look up on Spotify or iTunes?
Yep, absolutely. The Firepreneurs podcast. We put out a lot of good, valuable content for being a business owner, just trying to level up in life, level up in business. But we have a lot of things specific to junk removal as well. You can also, follow us, Fire Dogs Junk Removal, on Facebook, Instagram. LinkedIn, I have a LinkedIn page, so anybody can hit me up there if they want. You can message me on Facebook. I'm easy to find, Bennett Grove. So, yeah, always open to chat with people in the industry and do what I can to help and just continue to, shepherd our business forward. But anybody else who is looking to build and pursue growth, happy to be there to help as well.
Very good. Well, Bennett, thank you for being on this morning. Thank you for being a speaker at JUNKCON. Again, that's Bennett Grove, Fire Dawgs Junk Removal out of Indiana. He is at a 20-truck operation now. He wants to be at an 8-figure operation by the end of 2026. He will be a speaker at JUNKCON. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure you click the link in the description of this video. There are limited spots available for the early bird special. Save $100 off your ticket for JUNKCON. We're going to look forward to seeing you in October in Raleigh, North Carolina for JUNKCON 22. Bennett, thanks again. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.